You are listening to Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys, the Giants fan podcast by Giants fans for Giants fans. That's Joe Shasky. I'm Mark Willard. 2 episodes a week. Best way to not miss any is subscribe, including all of the content that we'll have for you this off season as we get you through the hot stove and the winter meetings. But not done yet with this September, and it has been a good September in terms of record. Any individuals that have stood out that sort of make you feel like you really want them to be a part of this thing going forward?
Yeah, I'll rat-a-tat-tat a couple. Thairo Estrada, I feel like he's had a great month, and he kind of solidified his spot somewhere on this roster. Austin Wynns, surprisingly. I thought I would need a veteran catcher. I'm actually kind of blown away with what I've seen down the stretch. He can hit. Defensively, leaves a lot to be desired, but he can hit. And then I'm looking at Austin Slater, and I'm saying, you know what? Austin Slater has to be on this team again next year.
Sure.
And then obviously you've got Wilmer Flores who's going to be here. And then Brandon Crawford's glove finding a rejuvenation. That's a positive step forward.
Absolutely. What about Scott Alexander out of the bullpen?
Dude.
He's been, now that's all of a sudden, like, gosh, I look at that guy right now, and I'm thinking, man, if this guy had been a part of the team all year long, that would have changed a whole lot. You know, he looks a lot like Jake McGee, but not Jake McGee, basically. He looks like who he was last year.
Yeah, that's a really good call on that. And then I'll add in Tyler Rogers on that. You know, I mean, I think everybody wants to run him out. If you look at his numbers, he's only given up 2 earned runs in his last, whatever it is, 30 appearances or over 22, 23 innings. He's been really good. He's been really, really, really good for this team. And I think there's a misnomer that he stinks. He doesn't stink. He's just got to find the right role.
Scott Alexander, by the way, an ERA of 1.04 in 17 appearances for the Giants since he showed up.
Wow.
And by the way, a guy whose career regular season mark is an ERA around 3. He's been a really good pitcher. So that's an interesting one as well. The other, I guess, big dangling issue with the Giants that's just sitting out there.
What's that?
I feel like we all know the way that it's going to go, but we don't really have any data to suggest that. But where do we sit as the season comes to a close with Carlos Rodon and what to do about it? It feels like the whole team is resigned to the fact that he's gone. He's had a tremendous September as well. And if you're this team that's planning to go spend a whole lot of money and be a great team next year, I'm trying to figure out why you're not at least in the running to get Rodon back.
I've kind of come to the grips with the realization that he's gone, and it stinks. But the other side of it is, this is a great template. Gausman and him back-to-back years, and I know Gausman was here in the shortened 2020 season. Think of the money that these two guys have made off of one full season with the San Francisco Giants. And I think the way that they utilize Rodon in terms of picking and choosing their spots, of pulling him, allowing him to go, like they've really managed him quite well for a guy that the number one problem was injury history. It does feel like a blow to their overall starting staff. But like, why do I feel like they're going to find the next guy? I actually do have a lot of faith in them that they're going to find the next guy. And then quietly, I look at someone like Alex Cobb. Like, if they find a guy who's got a little bit better stuff overall than an Alex Cobb, look how they've shined him up this year. Man, there's a big drop off between the two, but you get where I'm going.
No, I get exactly where you're going. And, you know, part of the reason I think we feel that is because they've always done that. Yeah. That's what they've done. Like, that's kind of been their calling card, if you will, of a Gausman. And then, you know, even the other guys, Alex Cobb, some of the ones before him, and then even Rodon, sort of replacing Gausman with Rodon. Now, as much as I sit here and I say I want them to be a part of Rodon conversations, let me throw the devil's advocate side out to you and throw this name at you. Did you see what happened this week with Charlie Morton? And if you did see what happened with Charlie Morton, here's why the Giants might be terrified of getting into the Carlos Rodon market. Charlie Morton signed an extension with the Atlanta Braves. Now, it was short-term, 1 year, but he got $20 million. That is obviously $2 million less than what Carlos made with the Giants this year. It's $2 million less than what his option is for next year. Charlie Morton is 9-6 this year with an ERA of 4.3. If that's commanding $20 million, then Carlos is commanding 40.
Right.
He's going to get a 50% raise at least. And if you don't want to do that for 5 years based on his arm history, I think you and I have agreed all year. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it if you don't want to do that.
I do get it. Boy, he's so much fun. Like, whoever gets him, if he can stay healthy, he's going to be a fun pitcher. I wanted to see him pitch in October. Like, selfishly, I wanted to see him and Logan Webb go 1-2 in a series, because when you put together these rotations, what do you dream about? What it looks like in October. And I feel like we got robbed of that this year. Boy, it would have been nice to have him in that Dodger series last year, right?
No doubt. No doubt.
But I'm with you on this. It's just, it kind of stinks. And then my question goes, all right, after arbitration, what do the numbers look like for Logan Webb moving forward?
Yeah.
They're going to have to buy him out at some point.
Yeah, although that's where the Giants have the plenty of financial muscle. Yes, I don't worry about that too much, because it's going to be a while before they need to do anything long-term on that front. I really think that's the only deal. If they could have Rodon back for 2 years, I bet they would do it. It's the same story with them always, just like Chris Bryant. They would do it if it's 2 years. They just don't want to do 7. You have to be so exceptional for them to want to do 7, like, Aaron Judge.
Chris Bryant, 0 home runs at Colorado this year. I didn't have that on my bingo card.
Here's the thing. I'll leave you with this as we head into the offseason. Everybody wants their team to sign the big guy, and they're usually right when they don't.
Yeah.
That's just the data.
Yeah.
It's usually smart not to do it. I'm not saying I'm here for smart. I don't want to pay for $15 beers for smart, but I get it. They're usually right when they don't do that deal.
And I know we're going to have tons of offseason talk, but Ohtani agreeing to the $30 million 1-year deal, to me, is get me out of here. I don't even want to wait till arbitration. I want whoever's going to absorb my contract now to know exactly what the figures are. Like that. That's what that one felt like to me. I don't know if that landed on your lap the same way.
The fact that it's happening before the season is over.
Right.
Yes. Right? I agree with you. They are greasing the exit in Anaheim
to get out of there. Agree with you. Absolutely. So and the way I'm looking at this, like, okay, let's say Rodon leaves. Hey, I could spend that 40 million, 30 million in other areas.
Yeah, oh my gosh. If the Giants at any point this offseason say we wanted him, but we just couldn't afford him, then we've all got a right to just go off.
Exactly.
They can afford whatever they now they got to want to do it.
Yes.
But if you want to do it, then they can afford it. That's just flatly the truth.
Yeah.
All right. Big off season to come. And it starts with our next episode on Thursday after the Padres series. For Joe Shasky, Mark Willard, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss an episode of Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys.